Well, as you know, Krista, footballers tend to be creatures of habit and a little bit superstitious as well. And the lads at Grimsby here do like a bit of pre-match nosh. So I've found them at the 40 Post House Hotel. Nothing exotic, they're just having some tea and toast. Anyway, I've managed to pull three of the lads out. There's the captain, Paul Groves, Kevin Donovan and manager Alan Buckley. Paul, is this a bit of a superstition, a pre-match meal?
We've had it the last few games and it's worked well for us, so I think we'll stick with it. Yeah.
And of course it's up against your old team, Leicester City, tonight.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's a long time ago that I was back there, but obviously, like I said before, earlier on, that everybody changes and there's only one person still there, and that's Steve Walsh.
I think you feel the team is just coming good, don't you?
We've had a few good results, and you know, the Sheffield Wednesday game obviously helped us confidence-wise, and we've gone on from there. Yeah,
Kevin, the season seems to have been generated by that result.
That's right, yeah, we've done well. We've had some good results sort of the last 2 or 3 weeks. We started playing sort of a bit better than what we were earlier on in the season. Still a long way to go. We're not playing as the manager wants us to play just yet, but we're just going to keep grafting away until we get that.
A goal like the one you scored on Saturday against Northampton would do nicely.
Yeah, it would do. I think I'll just settle for us getting through. I mean, if we can get a result here tonight, it'd be brilliant for the town.
Well, here is the manager, Alan Buckley. Big night for you, Alan, and you can't have better than the cup holders.
No, it's a big night for everybody connected with the football club. A big night for the fans. Super big night for the players. I'm pleased for them. We're looking to give a good account of ourselves. We've got to go out there full of confidence, try and get our passing game going. I hope that's good enough on the night.
Now, Martin O'Neill says that unlike some clubs, he is going to field a full team, you know, the best possible available team. Are you glad about that or not?
Well, they're the current holders. They wouldn't want to relinquish that very easily, would they? You know, it's a very, very big thing now. You know, the Coca-Cola, that is a passport to Europe, as they found out that last season, and they'll be wanting to try and qualify for Europe again. It would be nice to see Grimsby going into Europe, wouldn't it?
It certainly would. Well, thanks very much, Alan. Thanks very much, lads. Not just the players. If you can't beat them, join them. I've got my pre-match meal. I'm just going to tuck into my banana. Back to the studio.
A banana, John. OK, don't forget, Coca-Cola Cup Special, YTV tonight, 11:45. Mike.
Yeah, cup magic on the pitch, but we'll tell you a place where there's some more magic.
Now, Yorkshire football action in the Coca-Cola Cup Special.
Good evening, welcome to Coca-Cola Cup Special. Stay with us for the next hour because it's action all the way. Leicester City are the cup holders, but second division Grimsby Town have already shown they've no respect for reputations. Are the Mariners on course for another upset? It's been plain sailing so far for Sheffield United, but tonight they face a Walsall side that's already dumped Nottingham Forest out of the competition. For Barnsley, the Cup's come as welcome relief. Tonight, they meet fellow strugglers Southampton. Can this be the springboard to Premiership survival? And remember, those Cup games must be played to a finish tonight with extra time and penalties if needed. Now, also this evening, nationwide league action. We'll be looking back at the first game in charge for the new managerial partnership at Huddersfield Town, Peter Jackson and Terry Yorath. Town against Charlton Athletic. Highlights coming up later. Now, with me tonight is the Bradford City manager, Chris Kamara. Chris, surprised by that appointment, Peter Jackson?
Obviously surprising when you consider their position, especially as Brian Orton looked as if he'd got the players playing for him in the last game. But I'm sure Jackson and Yorath will do a good job. OK, well, we'll see how they got on later. But now let's go straight to our first featured match. It's the Coca-Cola Cup third round, Grimsby Town against the holders Leicester City. Your commentator at Blundell Park, John Helm.
It's a sign of the stability that Alan Buckley is seeking, that Grimsby go into the game with a minimum of change after a recent upturn in results. The only alteration from Saturday's winning lineup shows the return of Aidan Davison in goal after international duty in Portugal. Paul Groves began his career with Leicester almost a decade ago. Buckley has always appreciated his talent and he scored in both legs against Sheffield Wednesday. Matt Elliott's career has blossomed since his days at Scunthorpe, And there's even talk now of an international cap for Leicester's imposing centre-back. Martin O'Neill did want to field his strongest side, unlike some Premier League managers, but genuine injuries keep out the likes of Heskey, Cormack, Parker, Izzet and Claridge. The referee this evening has come from Leeds, and he is Mike Riley. The cup holders kick off. Their previous two matches were against Atletico Madrid in Europe, courtesy of that victory over Middlesbrough in last year's final, and Derby County. Now they come to Blundell Park against the side, remember, that knocked out Sheffield Wednesday in the last round. Well, Alan Buckley has returned to Grimsby after a spell with West Bromwich Albion. John Cockrell on his right is his assistant manager these days. Fenton's made himself available. Elliott instead chooses to play the ball wide for Walsh, one of the three centre-backs. Now Groves, the Grimsby captain, and he dwelled on the ball. It enables Fenton to move forward. Cotty's into that area, and the referee says no penalty. Protest though Tony Cotty might. As you can see, referee Riley has a good view of this. It's Graham Fenton getting forward there, just pushes the ball across the angle of the penalty area, handy size there, then Davison suddenly appears. Now does he catch Cotty? I don't think he does. We'll come back towards the Leicester goal with Jack Leicester. Rather confusing. Groves, Butterfield's joining in, and goes on, but good play, and Danny Butterfield gets in the first shot of the night. So he clearly is not overawed by the occasion. The young man from Boston, in because of the injury to John McDermott, weaves his way around Graham Fenton, and he has a pop at goal. Nothing wrong with that. Peter Henderson. Butterfield. Alan Buckley preaches to his players that they must pass the ball and then get shots on the end of it. That's exactly what Groves did, but the captain has pumped this one a little too high. Nonetheless, some encouragement movement here from Grimsby, and he took it on the thigh, did Paul Groves, and just couldn't keep it down. Elliott. And he's played that 40 yards right across to the toe of Rob Savage. And here comes the Welsh international, feeding it into Cotty. Lennon passing the ball around impressively. Elliott always gets forward as often as possible to join in. He loves scoring goals, despite the fact he's a centre-half. This is good play, and this is Fenton, and Graham Fenton has turned inside, and here's a great chance, and it was a block there by Graham Rodger that prevented Marshall putting Leicester ahead. Lovely build-up, and most of Leicester's best moves have involved this man Graham Fenton, and he stroked the ball into the path of Marshall, but Rodger put his body on the line. Craggy customer, Ian Marshall. Scored against Atletico Madrid, so he'll believe he can get one tonight. And Elliott came charging in, didn't get there. Fenton's reverse ball is to Guppy. And Fenton again finding space. He's looking very impressive tonight. Again, Elliott. Grimsby can't get the ball at the moment. Or is there a goal for Leicester here? It's Cotty. He'll turn, he'll knock it back for Savage. Dangerous ball, Marshall coming in, scores, and it was so predictable. It was coming for at least 2 minutes, that goal. And Ian Marshall merely had to make contact with the ball to be a certain scorer. Well, they've put so many passes together. In the end, it was a longer ball in from Savage. It was perfect for Ian Marshall. And Davison scuttling across his goal had no hope of getting there. Savage's cross, Marshall's header, and the cup holders are one up. Walsh was too sharp again for Nogan. And the impression generally is that Leicester are extremely sharp. Having said that, they've just conceded possession rather meekly. Nogan, and there are two ahead of him, and here comes Donovan, and Donovan has a man through on his left. Groves had got forward, Donovan just unable to find him. Otherwise, Grimsby's captain might have been in for the equaliser. It was a lovely little move, and Donovan's always dangerous in those positions, but it was just too far ahead of Groves. Keller will welcome some involvement, but they won't. His colleagues won't welcome that. He's given the ball straight to Grimsby, who have options now. This is Groves. Right. Oh, he tried to unleash the shot, and it was sliced back by Savage, and Keller put it out for the corner. Well, that all came from Keller's weak clearance. It invited Groves to storm forward for Grimsby, but Savage ran it out, and then Keller, with the boot, put it for the corner. Grimsby looking for an equaliser. And it's Kingsley Black, and that took an outrageous deflection too. Came out to Black here, and he turned inside Fenton, but again Leicester got bodies in the way. It's deep, and it's off Elliott's head. There was a push on Elliott. Alan Buckley always has a bit to say about his sides. He's had some great days here. I remember him leading the team to promotion. Oh, they were a little unlucky there, but Roger has now got his foot to the ball and diverted it straight into the path of Savage. Remember, it was Savage who set up the goal with a cross from the right, and he's going to try and do the same again now. It's a good ball in, and well, I cannot believe that they haven't got their second goal there. Steve Guppy coming in at the back post looked a certain scorer. And it's these crosses from Rob Savage that are posing the biggest problem to Grimsby's defence. And maybe he'll get another one across. No, he won't. But really, it should be 2-0, because Savage has screwed the ball across there perfectly for Guppy coming in, who nods it back into the zone instead of at the net. And at half-time, there is no doubt that the cup holders Leicester are in command, thanks to Ian Marshall's goal, a diving header from a splendid Savage cross. And generally, that's been the pattern of the game. Grimsby have found it hard to put any pressure on Casey Keller at all. So half-time at Blundell Park, Grimsby 0, Leicester 1.
Ambassadors' receptions are noted in society for their hosts.
Not like the old days, eh?
Sí, señor.
Welcome back, and a substitution right at the start of the second half for Grimsby, and one of clear intent from Alan Buckley. He needs more power up front, and so Steve Livingston is on. Kingsley Black has been sacrificed. Martin O'Neill's substitutes tonight, by the way, are two youngsters, Stuart Wilson and Sam McMahon, and a French goalkeeper rejoicing in the name of Peggy Arfexad. Decides ball, and there might be a chance here for Donovan. A good strike, and Keller just holds on. So the best moment of the night so far for Grimsby from the striker in form, Donovan, who's got 3 in the last 2 games. Got hold of that well, and on the greasy surface, Keller holds on. And Casey Keller made his name in this country with Millwall before joining Leicester at the start of last season. He's one of the best shot stoppers around. Now at the other end, Leicester looking to cement their lead. Marshall, it's worth the chase, and Cotty's on his own in the middle. He didn't find him, but he did win a corner. Graham Roger, the defender who put that ball out. Well, this is where Leicester are at their most dangerous. In goes Elliott, in goes Walsh. And it's Elliott, glancing header, now it's Walsh. Well, they were both there and ready and able, and Lennon's strike. Walsh once again. And swung across to Marshall, the header claimed on the line by Davison. Marshall's aerial dominance is a factor in this game though. Steve Walsh swinging the ball in here, and it's Marshall's header which is clawed under the bar by Davison. Donovan, he's got great feet, Kevin Donovan. Very fleet of foot, and he's won the position for the throw-in. On a line with the 6-yard area. They've got to get some decent service in though. Now that Livingston is up there, they've more of a chance than they had. Oh, a vital tackle there, Julian Watts. Nogan's turn. He might be forced away into that corner. Looks for support, which is there in the shape of Jobling. It'll be spread out to Gallimore. Well, he gets a second bite at the cherry, and there are a lot of bodies around here. And inside that area, here's Donovan. Oh, a great save. Livingston, a chance again now for Groves. Surely off the line. Incredible piece of play, and still it's up there. Well, that seemed to last an eternity, certainly for Casey Keller. And that was Grimsby's best spell. Gallimore was the one who started it by driving forward. It came back, and then Leicester and Nogan were all in. Donovan looked as though he might score. He'd beaten Elliott's lunge. Livingston couldn't get it past Keller's feet. Then it was Groves, and when he got on the outside of the defender, you'd have backed him, but Keller put his body across to make the save. Well, Alan Buckley will have wanted to see a little bit more passion, I imagine, from his players than he got in the first half, and he certainly got it in that incident a moment ago. Not sure what it is, but they're a little happier now. They've got the feeling that they might just get back into the match. Donovan. He's the one who looks dangerous when he runs at Leicester. And good running off the ball from Steve Livingston, and he's got Gallimore on his left. Still Livingston might go for glory. Perhaps he should have done. As it is, the ball is with Jobling. Up to Nogan. This is a lot better though from Grimsby, and Jobling's got in here. Can he finish? He can! It's a cracker, and it's come from the former Leicester player Kevin Jobling. He's brought the house down at Blundell Park, and what a time to score your first goal for 3 years. Kevin Jobling, once of Leicester City, now of Grimsby Town, 1-1. Well, it's a delightful moment for him. Nogan had played his part there. Jobling evaded Elliott, and he whipped it under Keller into the Leicester net. Groves. Widrington. Nogan, and the bodies around that area again as Nogan wends his way through. Still Nogan, slips it, Donovan, brilliant save, Donovan again, Keller scrambled out. Grimsby are asking all the questions now. Do Keller and his defenders have the answers? Nogan did ever so well around the edge of that area. Elliott was at full stretch, he then tucked it back inside, and Donovan thwarted not just once but twice. Here is the corner. Rogers' header, belted out by Lennon. Well, at half-time you could not possibly have forecast that the tie would take on this sort of complexion. Leicester seemed to be strolling it. It's anything but that now. As Gallimore romps forward. Straight across onto Elliott's boot. Up in the air from Groves. Livingston challenges. Kelly's missed it. It's a goal, surely. It's in. It's Livingston. It's 2-1 for Grimsby. Watts has been hurt. Keller's calling for a stretcher, I think, and certainly treatment. But the big news at Blundell Park is that Grimsby Town have come from behind to lead the League Cup holders. Well, it went up in the air from Groves. Now watch how Livingston gets a touch here. Just comes off his body, and Leicester follows it in, but the ball is already over the line. Well, now there are anxieties for Martin O'Neill. Steve Walford is assistant there. We'll just have a look at Watts again here. He's caught by his own goalkeeper, Keller. That looks a nasty one, doesn't it? And there'll be a sympathetic round of applause for Watts as he leaves the pitch on a stretcher. Well, you have to say that Grimsby are full value for that goal. Hey, they might get another one. It's Leicester. Livingston's in the middle. He's cut across beyond Keller. Savage, and it's out for the corner. Leicester were sleeping, frankly, there. It's high. Roger coming. Chance for a third. It's in. It's Livingston. The first shot was from Handyside. I think Livingston got a touch too, and from being a goal down, Grimsby Town are now 3-1 ahead of the Coca-Cola Cup holders Leicester City. Astonishing scenes at Blundell Park. Donovan's corner kick. Leicester have been struggling against set pieces. Marshall headed it against his own man. Handyside forward. Livingston popped it in via Keller's right hand. And it's a third Grimsby goal in a matter of minutes. The tie turned on its head. Watch Livingston here for the touch. Leicester. And he's still going and still trying to get on, but it's party time in Cleethorpes. The holders are out. It's a famous night for Alan Buckley, who was congratulated by Martin O'Neill there, but they have loved every minute of this evening. It seemed that there was no chance at half-time after Marshall's goal, but Kevin Jobling against his old club got Grimsby on track, and Steve Livingston notched a couple to send Grimsby through on a great night into the next round of the Coca-Cola Cup. They've knocked out holders Leicester by 3-1.
We got outplayed the first half, I felt. We didn't get amongst them, we didn't play it like a cup tie. I had to ask the players to do something against what I believe in from half-time on. Change my beliefs for a half, if you like. Put a lot more pressure on them, change the system. I mean, and the lads carried it out to the tee, really. You know, we had to play it like it was a cup tie and as if it mattered. And in the end, we've got a terrific, tremendous result.
Yeah, he wasn't too pleased with the way the first half went, and he says he needed to change it. We weren't going to break them down. They started off bright, very bright, and I think he felt they needed to be putting a bit more pressure. So we went with, we sacrificed a wide man and went up with 3 up fronts, and I think we got off to a good start. We put on a little bit of pressure, and we saw a light at the end of the tunnel, really, and we went for it.
Well, Chris Kamara, it all changed in the second half, but as Alan Buckley said, Leicester looked well in control in the first half, didn't they?
They dominated the game completely. They passed the ball around very, very well, and the 3 centre-backs dominated the game. And Marshall, what a great cross from Savage, but Marshall's thrown himself in there where it hurts. I think Davison may have possibly had a lunge at him there, but it's difficult for him, but it's a good goal.
He gets in those places, doesn't he? But he's got to be the scruffiest player in England, hasn't he?
He is indeed, and you can't argue with that.
OK, the second half, Livingston came on substitution and there was mayhem.
Livingston did come on and cause a lot of problems. Like I said, they got the ball up to the front players a lot quicker than they'd done in the first half, and they seemed to cause a lot of problems.
Well, let's not take anything away from Grimsby. Leicester had injury problems there, but Grimsby played really well, didn't they?
Grimsby played very well. They passed the ball around well. The movement and Joblin, you wouldn't believe it's 3 years since he scored a goal. Just watch the composure here. A little dummy right under Casey Keller's body. Grimsby are back in the game. Here it is again. Good little tackle in there from Jack Leicester. And there's the little dummy.
That's a crucial moment, isn't it?
Goal.
Well, after that, Leicester went to pieces.
They did, and I think Martin O'Neill will be disappointed with the way they caved in. And as we can see, the second goal is just an up and under there from Groves. And Casey Keller, what's he doing? Julian Watt's just about to head the ball. He comes out, takes Julian Watt, and the ball lands at Livingston's foot, goes in, and Steve Walsh, who's another courageous player, tries to keep that ball at the back of the net, and all he does is run into the near post.
I don't think Steve Livingston knew a great deal about that, did he?
He didn't know anything about it. It's hit him on the leg, and he's just watching it and hoping it goes in.
And he knew even less about the third goal.
It's a striker's goal, the third one, and I don't think Steve Livingston gets enough striker's goals in and around the 6-yard box. And but this one, Andy Sides puts in the shot, and it just hits him, and he deflects it towards the goal. He knows where he is, and Casey Keller's got no chance from that point blank range. Point blank range.
But Leicester can have no complaints. Well beaten on the night in the second half.
They were indeed, yes. The better side won in the end.
OK, well, let's just give you an update on the injuries there, because Julian Watts had a mouth injury, Steve Walsh had a rib injury, and both have been taken to Grimsby General Hospital. We have no word on the condition, but let's hope they make a full recovery. OK, now let's move on to our second match tonight. It's the All-Premiership clash at Oakwell between Barnsley and Southampton. Now, there's no Eric Tinkler in the...
And I really feel now that they're believing in themselves, looking at the teams that they've played against and the position.
Portsmouth, all of whom lost this weekend.
A flu bug threatened Chesterfield as much as anything at Fulham. 6 players on antibiotics, and they caught it cold when Mark Blake's header eventually went in off the post. Ian Breckin just standing and able to watch. Messrs Keegan and Wilkins may have won a few headlines, they didn't win the match. Chesterfield's tenacity epitomised by their equaliser, Marcus Ebden twice involved in the move, Paul Holland soaring to score for the second week in a row.
York's recent improvement, 1 defeat in 6 games, looked under threat when Wayne Hall missed with his foot, but not with his hand. Fortunately,